Like, I get it. I get where he's coming from. It's not a very team player kind of attitude, but it's like he clearly cares more about the legacy and the art of it more than like anything else. Anything else.
For sure. Also, it's a little easier to say that thing when you're have made way more money than everybody else. Way
more money than everybody else. They're all starving and on crack, and he's like, "Hey, what's the fucking problem? I don't want it. It's the legacy, guys. It's the legacy." Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined as always over Skype, but not for long, by my lovely, wonderful, reliable co-host Alexander Volz. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a whole discography per episode, and today we'll be discussing every album by
Kyuss.
We've been teasing this for like a while now, this particular episode.
I know, it's such a short discography too. It's kind of funny it took this long to get to.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, already. Whatever, you know where to. If you want to help us, follow us. You know exactly what to do. I'll go into more thorough plugs at the end, but the main plug is if you want to suggest an artist for us, email us at everyalbumever@gmail.com. But there's a high probability we won't get to it. If you want to jump the line, that's what Patreon is for. God damn it. Patreon.com/everyalbumever. Tier 2 lets you hop the line, skip everybody else, so we get to your suggestions sooner. We got another Patreon request coming up next week, as well as another one, maybe another two, I think, shortly after that. So people are taking advantage, and I'm glad because I feel less useless. But until then, Kyuss.
Feels good to be wanted.
Feels real good. Real good. But let's see. Kyuss. Alex, you're a fan.
I am a fan. I think they kind of paved the way for my love of stoner and sludge metal.
So anybody who doesn't know, little brief backstory. A little famous gentleman is in this band.
Yes, Joshua Homme. I believe it's Homme.
I think it's Homme. I go with Homme.
As well as his former bandmate for one album, Gnarly Dude by Nick Oliveira.
That guy, he looks like what he is, right? Like he looks exactly like what you think. Like, oh, that guy probably does these kinds of activities. And like, yep, meth. Mm-hmm, yep.
The only thing missing is
allegedly.
Yeah. Has standoffs with like SWAT teams for 2 hours.
That was only once, Alex. That was once. One time.
It was a misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding.
You're gonna hold us up every time we get fucking held up by the SWAT, Alex.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
And then if you're a music nerd, also Scott Reeder is in here for a little bit, and then Mr.
Why would music nerds know him? What is he in?
He's a really good bass player, and then famously auditioned for Metallica before they chose Robert Trujillo, and I think Scott Reeder is just too laid back for Metallica.
Well, they like to go hard. You know, that's what I've heard. Like part of the audition process for Trujillo was get super hammered, then get 3 hours of sleep, and then get up and work out with Lars or something like that. Something like that. I think I heard him say that.
Yeah, if you see Scott Reeder in interviews, he's just a mellow dude, and also I believe in the Obsessed, and I think he's just a great like underground metal bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said stoner and sludge metal, but when I was getting into it, people also like to throw the term desert rock around, which is just
desert rock.
But
it makes sense only when you, I think, to me, if you like look at the band like from far away, like if you're listening to songs, like this doesn't sound exactly like desert or anything. It has that like Black Sabbath-y twang to it. I guess that's the desert they're talking about.
Yeah, heavy Black Sabbath stuff.
Yeah, because all the deserts in England, like for sure.
It is. I think that has to do with Black Sabbath was like from Birmingham, and it's just like industrial, and it just beats you down, and then like the desert, the sun just beats you down. So like if you look at videos of Kyuss, they're just kind of dressed like slow schlubs who are like going to like paint a house or something. And
that was the death metal look as well for a while. Wear your best shitty blue jeans and flannel and roll up your sleeves. There you are.
Hell yeah, but it's because in the desert you can't dress like a punk or a metalhead because you'll just fucking melt.
Oh yeah, it's very hot, very hot.
But yeah, very interesting to think about this band going on while like the grunge explosion is happening, and like the similarities between this and bands like Soundgarden and Nirvana, but for whatever reason they were never like lumped in with the grunge.
They weren't. It's interesting hearing that and hearing these albums with that in context, because it feels almost like shit. Somebody flew in front of me. Like it's not that different. It's different as shit for sure, but it's like they still have like the really down tuned and crunchy guitars, and it's like it's always kind of mid paced or slow. Like it's not ungrungely. That's a weird term, but but it still feels like they shouldn't be associated with them in a way.
Yeah, like only some grunge bands do I think of Black Sabbath where this is more focused on it. It's like the opposite of Seattle. Instead of the rain making everyone depressed, the fucking unbearable sun is just.
I hear that, LA natives. Well, you for the most part, me definitely. Sun's bad guy. Sun's not liking the sun. I have no empathy for people who live in cold states. They're just complaining. I'm kidding. No, but go on.
Yeah.
How is snow even that bad? It's fucking cool. No, it's not. It's pretty bad. Sucks. Snow sucks.
Yeah, different extremes, but it's so weird how, especially now in like 2021, like going to the desert, at least in like Southern California, is like very hip. You got like Coachella out there, but
lovely.
People love to go to Joshua Tree, and I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. I
like rocks. I like stars. They got both over there.
That's about it. That's all you got. I do think it's like very, very punk rock, very metal, the desert music scene, because there aren't clubs or anything. So they just set up these generator parties and this out on the sand, and it's not like you can charge money for people to walk on a plot of sand. Yeah. So it's like all these bands, they're literally doing it for the love of it. There's no money.
Yeah. It really is though. Really.
First.
Yeah. If you're going, because we know this.
Yeah. If you're in the city, you got the pay to play bullshit.
Dude, that's so funny. That's how it was introduced to me when I was a teenager. It's like, yeah, you got to sell all these and you got to pay. I was like, what? Go fuck yourself. Hold on, what? It's like, man, they really, the fact that still goes over. Like people don't know that. Just no. If everyone just stops agreeing to it, then it's done. It's done. Because like,
agreed. Like usually over here, it's a venue like the Roxy, the Whiskey, something.
Yep.
Where people are like, oh, it's a legendary venue, but like it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah, no, I did one show at pay to play show at the Whiskey, and I was like 17 or something like that. I was really young, and afterward I was like, dude, never again. And I was like, I put my foot down. I was like, never again, and then I broke up the band. Really, never again.
But yeah, that's kind of some background of the scene. I remember reading about what's it called, Blues for the Red Sun. I just like hopped on my skateboard. I went to Tower Records because like this was like when Queens of the Stone Age were fucking huge. Just Songs for the Dead or Deaf. I always forget. and I just like wanted more of it, so that it led me to Kyuss. And I remember like getting home and putting it in my CD player, and it was like not at all what I expected. I did not love this band at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really.
But then, as my appreciation for like slower, heavier stuff grew, so did my love of Kyuss. So
that's kind of like my introduction to Fugazi, episode something. We did Fugazi, 55, I think. When I first heard them, like, I was like, oh, I guess I just don't like the band. And it took a minute for me to be like, oh no, they're the best band in the world. Like, it's sometimes if you go in, just don't go in with expectations, I guess is like the moral, really.
For sure.
I think really, you lose out on a lot expecting something, whatever it may be.
I think like the strangest or like, oh, fuck it. I'm gonna catch some shit. But like the worst aspect of Kyuss is their singer.
Alex.
John Garcia, like his vocals are almost comical and his lyrics are also comical. So
take that almost bullshit out of here. They are hilarious. I tell you right now, like I've heard all these albums before. Like a couple of maybe like 3-4 years ago, I did like a mini deep dive. I was giving them all a shot, and I came out of this band like, all right, they're fine, they're good, they're nothing. I don't love them. I don't feel like I need to go back to them, but I don't hate them. So here, I went in with that. Came out with my exact same picks for best and worst that I had back then, but now I like the band. Except I do like the band. Yes. I do think they're really good. Yes. I do not like John Garcia. I do not think he's good. I think he damn near ruins the band for me. I can't. I just can't even begin. Like,
is it because his hair's real long?
God. Yeah. Man, like, okay, he sounds like so I think for the most part, he sounds like a combination of James Hetfield and Janis Joplin, which I think is like the most annoying combination I've ever heard. And then at certain points in the first album, it's those two, plus you dabble in a little bit of Dave Mustaine. So you get like three really, really distinct sounding singers, and you put them all in, and then you put it over sludge metal. It just bothers me. It bothers me like, and he's like doing this fucking rock and roll arena rock shit over these like stoner metal songs. I'm like, you're fucking ruining them, dude. You're ruining the songs.
It's funny because like, I wouldn't call him a yardler, but he's
not.
Like,
no.
But much like how it's not grunge music, it's like there's similarities, but it's not. And this fucking weird, dude.
Like, it's so funny. We're talking about the grunge connection and why they're not considered grunge. Like, thinking about it now, it's like, well, no shit, it's because of his vocals. It's mostly because of the vocals, but also like. When I was thinking about that, I was actually comparing the music. Like, no, I think the music is still distinct enough to not be lumped in with grunge, but it's 100% because of those fucking vocals. Like, that's like, I mean, that's what. If you're not into that, yeah, it's not. If you're not really into that 70s hard rock style of singing, man, like, oh boy.
I will say, they do have a lot of instrumentals, so that's a positive. But I also think listening to this whole discography, because one album I kind of neglected, like outside of like Dimebag, I think Josh Homme is probably like the most interesting guitarist we've covered in terms of like his evolution, because like, you know, Jimmy Page and Hendrix, they're the same on their first album as they are on their last album. To be fair
for Jimi Hendrix, he had 4 albums.
yes, but you get what I'm saying. Like, they may experiment with different things, but for the most part, they're the same guitar player.
Yeah. And
to hear like the first Kyuss album and like think about like Queens of the Stone Age riffs,
or even just the last Kyuss album, it's she changes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny, as we talked about on the Them Crooked Vultures episode. He has such a distinctive style now that this is kind of like mind blowing that it's the same guy.
Well, the thing is, I still never forgot that it was him on these albums for most of these albums, because that fucking guitar tone is just so obviously him. It's like it's been burned into my brain. Like, so it sounds more like him as the albums go on, and then you start hearing little things that he would do with Queens here, but it's in the context of this super fucking sludginess and this heaviness. So it's like, it actually is really fucking interesting if you go in here as a Queens fan first.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, like I said, I'm sure there's other guitar players who have had interesting evolutions, but yeah, like to me, him and Dimebag are two of the most interesting guys to hear in the beginning of their career. To, you know, Dimebag, his and Josh Homme still going.
So backstory of the band.
Yeah, so we covered the desert scene. They formed in Palm Desert in '87. Before choosing the name Sons of Kyuss, which is from Dungeons and Dragons.
Fucking nerds. Jesus Christ, really?
For sure. I don't even know how you get Dungeons and Dragons in the desert.
They find ways, Alex. They dig holes in the ground. They have whole civilizations under there where all these nerds live. I don't know what I'm talking about. Keep talking.
They play real life Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So they recorded their first EP, Sons of Kyuss. And I think the copy I have is a bootleg of it. I listened to it to compare and contrast, but most of the songs they repurposed for their first album, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, I think that's a good little segue into the discography.
Well, here we go. Kyuss had four albums over their lifespan. First one came out in 1991, last one 1995. And I guess it's time to begin. Crap, I lost my fucking music. Really? I lost my music window? There it is. Jesus, man. It was a great segue and I shat all over it. This is 1991's Wretch. Whew. Coming in
so
very
this
strong.
is like, yeah, like generic, like rock
this sounds
and roll.
like grunge.
Like, yeah, like hell yeah.
I disagree. I like that bass a lot.
Oh, yeah, this is the only album to finish a bass player called Chris Cockrell.
I'm assuming you mean feature.
Yes.
What's his name? Chris what?
Cockrell. It's a funny name.
That's interesting because the bass has always been pretty distinct, and I guess interesting.
Yeah, no shortage of interesting bass players in the desert,
That's
I guess.
That's almost like a thrash riff.
Yeah. Also, sorry, he's only on 2 tracks. The rest is Oliveri. So.
Oliveri, okay.
Yeah.
Quite the intro. They do some lengthy intros.
Yes. Solid opener for the album.
Yeah. So, man, that's the thing. Like, the vocals are such a freaking prominent part of this band, but they take so long to start in each song. Well, not every song, but like openers like that.
Yeah.
But least favorite, easily.
Same.
Easily. No,
Same.
And this is how I felt back in the day. This is how I feel now. I like it more now than I did back then. But there's some goofy shit here. There is some funny stuff on this one.
To me, it's just like the songs aren't as strong as the core 3 albums, and there's like some like songs like Black Widow could have maybe been helped if they re-recorded it, but it's just taken from the EP.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, is that the only song taken directly from the demo EP thing?
Black Widow and Deadly Kiss are taken directly from the EP.
Deadly. Dude, hold on. Let me. It's so funny you say that. You know why it's funny you say that?
Why?
Those two specific songs, those two are the only songs on the album that I noted that John sounds just like Dave Mustaine on them.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he started out sounding like Mustaine, then graduated to James Hetfield / Janis Joplin, and then eventually he started doing his own thing. But
yeah, like especially Black Widow, the drums are little. Or sorry, on Deadly Kiss, the drums sound a little rough.
I don't think they sound too bad. The thing is, I think that intro was really good. But the song itself almost sounds like a knockoff of School from Nirvana.
I did not think about that when listening to this, but I will compare and contrast.
It's not like a rip or anything. It's just like a very similar stylistically, especially when the drums come in. It's like, oh, that's the same exact drum line. But
this is more hard rock over spacey psychedelia stuff that we'll deal with.
I don't know what psychedelia stuff you're talking about, because this felt so straightforward to me. Like this is pretty digestible.
No, I mean like later on, not on this album. This is this more hard rock, like fucking slam some shotgun beers. And
speaking of which, fucking Katzenjammer or whatever the hell it's pronounced. That's like straight up party rock. It's kind of fun, I gotta admit, but it's like it's silly, but I do like that fucking guitar is so crunchy, man. It's so fucking heavy for something so party like. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, I think Katzenjammer and Love Has Passed Me By definitely benefited by re-recording them, because on the EP, I'm like, I could see the potential for these songs, and not that they're home runs, but definitely benefited from better production.
Son of a Bitch is rad.
Oh, dude,
that's like the first real taste of like stoner metal, I feel like.
That's like that song and Big Bikes are the most like John Garcia songs ever. It's just cussing, just cussing for the sake.
Oh, fucking
my favorite line from Big Bikes. I want some pussy, yeah, from a big bitch. Yeah.
Oh, that song has so many B sounds. It's like every word has a B in that fucking song. It's even the bass, it sounds like extra B. Like, you know what I mean? It's like even the bass has extra bottom to it. It's like, it's so cock rock. It's such a fucking gross song. I hate it. I hate it so much.
To me, like the standout tracks were The Law. I love the guitar playing on The Law.
Dude, Homme carries that. Well, Homme carries the fucking album for me, honestly, but it sounds fantastic on that song. And like once it slows down and that fucking farty bass kicks in, oh, song rules.
Yeah. And then I think I'm Not is also another good song. Those two are kind of like, oh, you can see where the band would go.
I'm okay with I'm Not. I think it's solid, but instead of sounding like fucking Joplin and Hetfield, I thought he sounded like Janis Joplin with Rob Zombie. Like, I just keep getting these really goofy combinations in my head. Like, his voice to me is just, it's almost like a Rorschach test. But
look, if you throw in all your songs, you're either Little John or you're Rob Zombie. So
exactly. Yeah. Oh boy. But it's like songs with like Love Has Passed Me By. Man, it's really hard. It's so hard to take seriously with those vocals, man. It's just, I'm putting on a little bit of that.
Oh, dude, you should. Yeah. You'd probably hate the original version.
More? Oh boy. This is Love Has Passed Me By. Oh god, it's so generic. I fucking hate this. to you, for me.
We have fun
we
here.
get fucking stabbed.
I'm not worried about getting stabbed by.
I fucking hate it.
I'm not worried about getting stabbed by John Garcia. I'm worried about getting stabbed by Nick Oliveri.
That guy will literally, yeah, for sure. No good. Please don't stab us. We're kidding, dude. We love it. But yeah, this is yeah. I mean, this is honestly a decent album. Not my favorite band ever, clearly, but it's like it's not even very little of it actually drags, and it's kind of paced pretty good, even if I don't care for like a lot of the songs. I mean, shit like fucking Isolation makes me want to fucking kill myself. It's just so goddamn generic, but at least it sounds crunchy, you know, at least that. And it's surrounded by stuff like The Law and I'm Not, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, and that's like the most ballady thing they have going at the beginning of Isolation on this album. It is a very like a debut-y album. Like, oh, we just need to get
a little bit of everything.
Door.
There's a little bit of everything here. Yeah. So some of it works, some of it doesn't, but it's the least enjoyable, I think. That can't be a controversial opinion. Come on. We're saying to get better. What do you want from this?
Yeah.
Yeah. But time to move on to a better album. By default, infinitely better album. So this is, hold on, I do have to burp. Did have to burp. This is 1992's Blues for the Red Sun. Stop doing that. iTunes.
Always skipping around.
Always.
So while you're
caught up, yeah, it's building up.
Yeah,
takes a long time to build up, but
produced by Chris Gross, who's like a staple in the desert rock scene.
I see.
And he has a band called Masters of Reality, who he convinced Ginger Baker to play on one album. So
convinced or said, please, I'll give you any amount of money. And he's like, yeah, okay.
I'm assuming Mr. Gross doesn't have too much money. So yeah, I'm interested how that pairing happened.
There you are. Say it one more time.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming Mr. Gross doesn't have too much money. So I'm interested to see how that pairing happened.
That is interesting. Ginger Baker's a fucking madman.
I mean, also getting back to the album, this is such a huge improvement already.
Huge. This song, I mean, this song is really something. But those vocals here are still pretty funny. They are.
Give two shades on you feel.
Oh. But having said that, making fun of him, I love his voice in the chorus. Love it.
Interesting.
Sounds great.
That's a really cool part too.
It's a great hook. All right, let's chat.
Yeah, so this is considered like a landmark stoner rock album, which is interesting because I'm like the Melvins existed, so
they did existed, and they did existed very, very well. I mean, what year? This is 92. That's Lysol, man. That's like, I believe it was 92.
Yeah,
but that was more sludge metal. That's more sludge. Never mind. Scratch that.
I kind of feel bad for not giving any accolades to this album because it's really good. It's the first Kyuss album I've ever heard.
Actually, I think me too. Also, yeah, it was actually the first one I heard as well. I feel nothing about not giving anything to certain albums because I feel so strongly about how I do about this band. It's good. It's definitely a huge improvement. But I do think they get better. Yeah.
But yeah, this kind of opened up the door for them. They were able to tour with like Metallica, Dancing, White Zombie, Faith No More, bands we talk about all the time on this podcast.
Bands I love.
And then like following up that song we just heard, Thumb with Green Machine, what like a smart choice, because Thumb's very sludgy, and then Green Machine's like, hey, we can
very fast.
We can kick it up a gear.
So Green Machine, it is very smart from a pacing perspective, from a sequencing standpoint. It's very good, very smart to put it there. I hate the song because that fucking chorus is the most generic horse shit. It's like, it starts up like, fuck yeah, it's faster. It's exactly what we need. Like for the follow-up track, it's a solid riff. And then that chorus comes in. It's like, oh, okay, now we're back to this. All right. Like people will like it. All right. I'm not saying it's awful, but it's get away from me. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah. And then we start to see like the trippy side of them with like Molten Universe and 50 Million.
Dude, that intro is it's so Melvin-y, that intro.
So, oh man, some of the instrumentals I get like upset they aren't longer, because it's just like I enjoy them so much. Like for 50 million year trip, around like the 310 mark, like that's probably like the heaviest Josh has ever sounded sometimes. So
it's heavy and great. Takes a minute to get going, but it's pretty badass. Although John on there sounds just like James Hetfield. It's really distracting. It's like ridiculous. And I actually don't even mind the jamminess of the second half so much, because like these motherfuckers jam. They get jammy. It wasn't so bad on the first album, but like from this point onward, they'll just take a solid 3.5 minutes, and we're just gonna hammer this one out for a while. So it's not for everyone. It's not for me, but
it made me think jamming was cool, and then I found out it's more associated with things like Grateful Dead, and I'm like, jamming is not cool.
Jamming is for high people. It's really fun. It's fun for everyone involved, even the audience. If you're high, it's just a high activity. It's not. Yeah. It's not really cerebral or very methodical.
I feel like there's always a song where I'm like, Garcia is like peak Garcia, and on this album that'd have to be Thong's song.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so funny because it's a little ironic, because the song itself reins it in a little bit with a little loud, quiet, loud stuff, or quiet, loud, quiet. Jesus, but John is not. He's up here at all times. When it's quiet, he's up there. When it's loud, he's up there.
I always thought it's funny because he sings that he hates slow songs. I'm like, all your songs are fucking slow. So I'm pretty sure that's.
Say it again. You're breaking up.
Oh, what about now? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. What did you say?
I think it's funny when he sings "I hate slow songs" because all their songs are slow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, you're a slow band. You're stoner metal, dude. You're embrace it. Stoner rock. I don't know what the hell you call it.
Little bit of irony there. There's nothing like too hooky on this album. It's just like really, really groovy, really jammy.
Yeah.
Brings the heavy, brings the trippiness.
Yeah, it feels better than it's like it is a well-written album, I would say. Like stuff like Apothecary's Weight. It's like there's like so much Geezer Butler Sabbathness in there. But it just feels good. That style feels good. We all love Sabbath. It just feels nice. That fucking that dubby ass warm bass underneath a bunch of sludge.
The song I was like stood out to me the most, and I think it still does, is Freedom Run. Like, it's the longest song on here.
Right.
That's just,
the intro is like the most psychedelic thing they've done up to this point, for sure.
The most what?
I said the intro to it is like the most psychedelic thing they've done up to this point, pretty much.
Oh yeah, real trippy stuff, real heavy stuff.
Man, you're breaking up pretty brutally.
God damn it.
Yeah, this is Alex. This is real bad.
Yes.
Real bad. All right, what the hell are we talking about?
So we're talking about Freedom to Run.
Freedom to Run. That's right. I said something about the intro being the first real dipping their toe into psychedelia.
Yeah, and it's nice that they follow that up with like 800 little chanting parts with some tom drum stuff that continues that. Wraith is one of the more chill vocal performances.
Dude, that song sounds exactly like Danzig. Both the band and John sounds like Danzig, the guy. Like I almost thought it was a parody because it sounded just like him. It's like that's weirdly like. Plus, Danzig always does that blues rock, blues metal kind of stuff. Anyway,
yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a song on the EP that didn't make it. What was it called? I think. Oh, they have this song called "Window of Souls" that's like super dancing-y. Also, shout out to the person who didn't like that I pronounced it Danzig. How are you supposed to say his name?
It's Danzig, Alex. Everyone, including everyone we know, has said, "Why does he say Danzig?" There's only one N. It's Danzig. Danzig.
Danzig?
Yeah, not like dancing. Danzig.
Whatever.
that was the one that was going around our friend group for a while. I was like, hold on, he says Danzig, right? I'm not fucking crazy.
Whatever. I say it weird.
But no, I'm not done with Ride though, because it's not just that he sounds like fucking Danzig. It's that chorus. I swear it sounds like Puddle of Mud. I know it was before. I know, but that's what I mean. Like, there's moments of this where I'm like, fucking goddamn, is that Puddle of Mud? It's gross. I don't like. Just a lot of this shit I don't like. I mean, that's a perfect example of what I think. Like that and the chorus to Green Machine, like kind of give me the same kind of ugly goosebumps. Like, ugh, it fucking makes me wince a little bit. And the only other thing I don't really care for is Mondo Generator. It's not even that it's bad. It's just long and jammy, and the megaphone effect just kind of gets, grating on my ears after a while.
That's what happens when you let Nick write songs.
That's a Nick one? That's a Nick song?
Yeah. And that's what he named his band after. His band's called Mondo Generator.
Shows how much I know. So I'm assuming, I think Homme's the main songwriter, right?
Let's see. It's so weird. I feel like Garcia gets like he gets credit on like 800. I'm like, how? It's an instrumental.
Maybe
it looks pretty.
Yeah,
it looks pretty evenly split between Garcia, Homme, and Bjork. Or Bjork.
I think I was only looking at the music. Yeah, Homme did most of the music.
Okay, yeah, and then like Brant, sorry, is the other like big songwriter. So. The drummer, so that's kind of cool to see from a drummer get writing credits. Yeah,
it's always I always like kind of start thinking about like, how do they? I mean, clearly they have to play whatever it is instrument that's not drums to get the melody across. I think about that a lot with like, what's that band Magma? Was it Magma? The fucking band,
yeah.
And then obviously Slint with the Brit. It's always interesting when like the drummer is like the main multi-instrumentalist, mastermind, composer person.
Yeah, it's cool to see as a former drummer.
Also, fucking Capsized. That's the kind of shit that I'm like, I'm very excited for what's going to come after this.
Yeah, I wish that was longer. Like such a nice little slice of music there. Yeah,
little acoustic instrumental. It's longer than Transition. It's a song, but it's just more like a palate cleanser than anything. But it gives you little teaser of what they can do at least. And what they will do very soon.
Yes. But yeah, really, really solid album. Feels more like their debut album than the previous
Honestly,
one.
Yes. This feels more like they have a personality. It feels I don't say consistent as in all the songs are good. I mean consistent as in like it's consistent with like a style, or the first one was kind of like, throwing darts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has a vision that they execute, and Chris Gross this makes them sound amazing and at the time unique.
Yeah. But We got a couple more. So if you're ready.
I am ready.
Hell yeah. Let's move on to where the hell did it disappear? It disappeared. It got taken from my library. Are you kidding me? All right. I guess I have to search it. I guess I have to search for it. Oh my God.
Well, Mike's looking that up.
I got it. But
Nick Oliveri would leave and they'd bring in Scott Reeder, which this album I think is the ultimate like lineup for Kyuss.
And that lineup is 1994's Welcome to Sky Valley. Oh, I love that already. Already I love that. Dude, that is so stoner metal. This is the most stoner metal.
Yeah. Great, great build up. Oh, yeah. I just like these three dudes. I don't. They all complement each other so well.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the drums, the bass, and the guitar, not the vocals.
Yeah, not the like we talk so much about his vocals, and we've heard so little of it on this episode so far. He's like, at least especially at this point, he's like sparse. He's just in there every now and then.
Yep. Take it down.
Around.
He is like, in a lot of ways, like a really like 90s vocalist.
Yeah. There's a lot of He's almost like the rock and roll equivalent of Bruce Buffer. That's what it reminds me of. When, Bruce Buffer says Hawaii. That's what I think of when I think of John Garcia. Are you there?
So I think this is regarded by a lot of people as their best album, and I think it's like I said, their best incarnation. But it's no, like I got no accolades for it. It's just like,
nor do I, Alex. It's the first time we've agreed on an episode in a while.
Yeah.
First
also,
time.
It's very funny going in. You hated the band. I was big on them, and it's very funny that we both came to the same conclusions.
Yeah.
But
didn't hate them. Just lukewarm. But
but this is still a very good album.
It's each one has just gotten better and better. I mean,
yeah, it's they've signed to Elektra here. Originally, this was released on CD as only 3 tracks. So, like, it forced people to listen to the songs. Like, you could.
That is such a stoner metal thing. I mean, Melvin's really they weren't the first ones to do that, but like they were at least first sludge metal band to do that.
For sure. But, like, Asteroid is like one of my favorite instrumentals from them. I think it's really solid.
Dude, it's really good. That's a dynamic range utilized better than they ever have before. Like calling it quiet, loud, quiet would be, or loud, quiet, loud would be like a disservice. It's just way more extreme than that. Like when it gets quiet, it's fucking right in your ear. And when it gets loud, it rips. Yeah.
Super Scoopa and the Mighty Scoop. That's like
these fucking names, dude. They're getting goofed. They're getting silly.
Yeah, that's like the first time where I'm like, oh shit, you got some hooks, like some catchy stuff that'll stay with you.
John is a joke on that song, but I still dig it. Lengthy and jammy, but what are you gonna do? That's just the band.
That is the band. 100 Degrees. You got some funky porn guitars in there.
Dude, I fucking missed it on my first playthrough of this, or my first listen to this. And I was like, wait, holy shit, there's a full funk section just thrown in there. Not bad. Also, we talked about I'm already forgetting the name of the fucking song. Holy shit, I went too far. Whatever, the acoustic song on the last album. You got Space Cadet now, which is like a full on country western. Uh, and John, just starting on this album, he's singing soft every now and then, and he sounds a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah, on Space Cadet, you gotta sing soft on that song. It's like a Western with Black Sabbath's Planet Caravan mixed in there. It's really, really cool. Great example of, Homme and Reader coming together in this writing great music. Then one of my favorite Kyuss songs, Demon Cleaner, is just
right.
I love
still singing softly on that song. Still singing softly there. Sounds great.
He does. His yas are like subdued, but there's so many. Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, great song that like gets you amped after Space Cadet. I just like it's so weird. Like that song and Alice in Chains Wood. I'm just like, that's like some of the greatest like 90s Tom on the drums. Tom riffs, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
They're distinct enough to feel like riffs. Yeah. That's how distinct that is. Yeah. This album really feels like their most stoner metal. Like I think I would say compared to all their albums, this is like the Kyuss stoner metal album. And with John reining it in here, it's like, it's fucking great. I actually really like this album. I really like it.
Yeah, there's this like, it's weird. It's really good, but it's like, I think Blues for the Red Sun's this more memorable to me for some reason. And then like, the back half with like Odyssey, Conan, and NO is just like,
you don't like
just
them,
like
Alex? You don't like them? What are you saying?
No. There's just some like cool guitar playing on those songs.
Oh, right.
Especially. So,
that's Conan Trautman is a weird one because it sounds like it was recorded in a different studio. Like that's like it was weird. Everything just sounds recorded differently. It's interesting, but short and sweet otherwise. Also,
these are like 50-minute albums, but like they feel shorter.
They actually. So one thing I noted was this album and then the previous album. They both back to back. They both made me feel the fatigue on the last track. Like on the last one, I was like, okay, if there's one more after this, I'm done. But so it's always the last track. So it's like they always just make it just long enough because it's not too. They're not short, but it doesn't. Like you said, it doesn't feel too long. I don't. What am I saying? Whitewater.
Yes.
I actually do dig the super 60s sounding jamming section. That one feels like the most classic. I don't know for how else to call it, but that's probably like the least sludgy song, the least stonery song. I don't know. It just feels it's jammy as shit, but it just feels more classic in that sense.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. I like the guitar solo. I think it's around like the 4:30 mark. Pretty interesting stuff. It's also
lengthy.
Interesting. Yeah, pretty interesting to throw like this 8-minute song and then this close with a jokey track.
Lick do. It's awful, but cute, I guess. It's like
it doesn't add anything, but it doesn't like hurt it either, especially because you get this like, if you like it, you like it. If not, you can turn the album off. So
I feel like it doesn't even qualify as like, you could just it's turn off. It's like less than a minute and you just turn it off. Silly, fun, whatever. But yeah, this just felt like exactly what should have been happening. Not should have been happening, but it felt like they were definitely building up to this. And it also feels like at some point someone had a conversation with John, or they're like, hey, let's just not tell John about these like 4 instrumental songs. Or like, maybe we cut out that whole section where he was just singing and that part's instrumental now, and he'll come back later. It's like they neutered him so brutally from the last album. And I love it. I love it so much. But it's like it seems it's almost like intentional. Like, hold on, let's just reel it in, buddy. Let's reel it in.
It's interesting because it's still like Chris Gross producing. Like nothing has changed except the bass player. So very
and the songs have gotten a lot longer too. Like, I mean, like across the board. Like,
yeah, I mean, and technically, you know, it's only 3 songs, but
oh yeah, I suppose
it's very interesting. Yeah, like Demon Cleaner's like the big song off here, and it's like buried at the end of the second section. So pretty funny that if people bought it to hear Demon Cleaner, it was like,
what a fucking spit in the face to all the people who paid money. The thing is, but really, really annoying fans who paid money. The annoying fans are the ones who like one song and then fucking shit on everything else. Those are the worst people. I don't like those people. So in that sense, it's very funny. It'd be very hard to measure that kind of thing though. But yeah, good ass album. It's obviously getting better and better and better. I hate, at this point anyway, I hated John the least than I ever have, or like less than I ever have. So like, okay, I can come out of this okay, and I'll come out not bitter about this guy's voice. I can do it.
This is fun to laugh at his voice.
Yeah. Aside from that, though, I mean, just the band in general is a little too jammy for my taste. But if you can get over that, there is some good shit to be had. But we got one left. One left.
That's very obvious for regular listeners what's going to happen.
Hell yes. And I'm glad because it's been a while. But this is 1995's And the Circus Leaves Town.
So they have a different drummer now, Alfredo Hernandez. And oh man, what a great...
They're just queens now. They're heavier queens now. Listen to that riff. And now they're back to Kyuss.
Also, like, because the songs on the previous album were so long, it's like, by the time this ends, you're like, wait, what? Like, you could have kept going.
Yeah.
But, better too short for a song like
Always
this.
better too short. And John is still doing ridiculous shit, but it's not bothering me so much. I don't know if it's just the Stockholm Syndrome or something, but it's all right. It's all right. But I guess the song just reeks so much of Homme that it's kind of like hard to even pay attention to anything else.
He is, I would say, just looking at the credits, like 80% of this album.
Yeah. That's a substantial percentage. All right, Alex. What do we think?
Best personal favorite.
Best personal favorite. Yeah.
And then if you go on the Wikipedia, you see AllMusic and Rolling Stone were very lukewarm about this album, and like,
oh no, no, we must be wrong, Alex. Oh, Rolling Stone, they didn't like it. It's almost like they're a bunch of fucking asshole hacks who have no taste. It's almost like that,
I don't get
but not
it.
quite, because I'm sure I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if any other outlets covered it, but I'm just like, how can you be lukewarm about this album? I think almost every song is killer. Like, Hurricane's a great opener, and then Wench Man is like one of my favorite bass lines. It's like a guitar bass line. It's just,
dude, that fucking solo at the end is also super Queensy too. And this is like where we start hearing what we know of as the Josh Homme style, except it's just way heavier and way sludgier. And it's like, that's really satisfying. It's like really satisfying.
It is. Also, that song One Inch Man is like proto feel good hit of the summer, because it's kind of like the same, like, it has the same idea of like the playing the guitar like a percussion thing, or like what are those things you send SOSs out on?
A telegraph?
Yeah, it's like
okay. Right.
Yeah, like very like you said, very Josh Homme.
Mm-hmm. I think, I mean, it starts out so fucking strong because like the old Boozeroonie, which is like, man, like that's how you know it's Homme because it's all stupid and the names are all silly and stupid. But it's like it's fun. That song fucking rules. And it's like, all right, I'm already like just because those first 3 songs, like I'm already on board. I'm already enjoying it way more than every other album. And then Gloria Lewis comes on, and I fucking love that song so much.
There's something about Gloria Lewis that feels real sleazy to me, which I'm using as a positive here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. Because I think Blues is like their sleaziest album, but like Gloria Lewis, it's like it's up there in terms of sleaze.
It is, but I was high. I was listening to that. I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I like. This is what I should be doing right now. This is absolutely. You got some more Sabbathness with Phototropic, but I don't know. It's not for me. It's fine. It's like I don't even think it really hurts the album being that early in it. It's just not for me. But here is where it became so impossible to avoid how little John is on this record. It's like, he's damn near not on it. Like, shocker, that's my favorite. But like, it's weird. Like, and when he is on it, he's mostly like softer or quieter, or a little bit more subdued. It's like he's not doing what he's always been doing.
More reined in.
Way reined in.
El Rodeo, like there's something about that guitar riff that reminds me of like a Whitney Houston song for some reason, but I can't think about it. It's just like, if you could play a little bit of it, like there's something like goofy about it. Not like overtly goofy, but
because you say it's funny you said that because I was thinking like fucking Bungle. Like not like Bungle, but like, you know, early Bungle was like almost circusy.
Yeah, I could see that too. It's but like it turns into this like hard-hitting song, but like to start off, it's this like good weird stuff. Intro.
Dig it.
What else? Oh, Jumbo Blip. Great instrumental.
Right. Let me that one well, on first, this I think of early Bungle when I hear this bass line with that.
I guess that bass line like could be Primacy too.
Primacy as well, yeah. That's very fucking cool. I forgot how rad this intro is.
Yeah.
God damn. That's really anyway, I'm just getting fucking stuck and like staring at nothing.
Like Hernandez is so awesome that he could just like come in here and like they didn't like lose a step or anything because Brant was a big part of the writing thing. So I think it's really cool that as important as he was to the band, that someone else can come in and it's just like even better than before.
I actually really like Size Queen, which one thing I'm really surprised that the song is actually made better by the vocals. Like that vocal hook makes the song good. I was like, holy shit. That's the one time. That and Thumb, I think, are the only 2 times where John actually makes it better.
Yeah.
Man, that's a mean thing to say about a guy who's literally on every album, but I like the song. It's just, I mean, and also the cover of Catamaran. Obviously, I've never heard the original.
Dude, that's one of my favorite Kyuss songs. I didn't know it was a cover until now, but
it's a cover of one of the members. It's one of their previous bands. I forgot the name.
Yawning Man, but
there we go.
That band actually didn't have any recorded material until like 2005. So
holy shit. So this started out as basically a Kyuss song.
Yeah, it's really like, I love the chill parts of that song. I love the heavy parts of that song. It's just everything Kyuss does well. Yeah.
It doesn't feel, you would never know it was a cover unless like someone told you. It fits right in.
Also, it's from one of their like fellow desert desert rock bands, and
It always feels odd. Keep going.
Oh, kind of sounds like a backhanded compliment, but it almost could have been any band from the desert, but it was Kyuss, so like they were the lucky ones.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I always feel like kind of it's always odd, like thinking of when bands cover like friends bands or like another band that was like wasn't as famous, but it's like so closely associated. Like even though Leech from the Melvins is a Green River song, it's still like it's hard to think of it as a Green River song just because it's so Melvinsy.
Yeah,
and it's not like Green River did that much afterward, obviously. I mean, that's kind of how I look at this song on here.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, that band didn't have any recorded material, so I don't know. Maybe it was a way like, oh, we'll cover your song and then you'll get some royalties and
maybe.
But yeah, it's a Kyuss song. It's fucking rad.
Yeah. So we gotta have a little discussion about Spaceship Landing. Of course. Anytime you throw a massive song, we have to have a whole little chat.
Yes,
it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's long.
I really dig it. If you look it up on the internet, it says it's 34 minutes. It is not 34 minutes.
Technically,
yeah,
but the track is 34. It's not. It's 11 and some change.
Yeah, but yeah, that was just a thing bands did with CDs. So you can fit like 80 minutes on here. Let's put all this hidden stuff in there. But the song is just what a like appropriate song for the band to go out on.
It's super appropriate because the vocal production is, you're gonna hear the same the fucking word of the day, Queensy, where
yes,
it's nothing. It's like, it's almost like John had no say in what to sing there because it sounds nothing like anything he's ever done. There's a ton of different harmonies. It's really, really, really subdued and reined in. Sounds great. But yeah, I mean, it just goes on in jams after a long time. And, you know, it's if you're into that by now, you should know. Like, yeah, that's what they do. And it doesn't sound any worse for it. I can do without a few minutes of that jamming, honestly. But also, technically the last track is Day One. It's like in the last few minutes of the 34 minutes of silence or whatever, and that is pretty badass as well.
I fucked up and I listened to the vinyl version, and I don't think that was.
So Day One was the song they wrote for Dave Grohl and Chris. Like after Cobain's death. I think there's no drums. It's like it's on the mellower side. It's very melodic. It's very pretty. It's very cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
I am going to seek it out because I've probably been shortchanging myself.
There's also one other secret track in the silence, and it's like a goof. I forgot. It's like a few seconds long. It's like a goof, but that one is at the very, very end.
Yeah, I thought it would just be goofy stuff, so that's why I was like, I think my vinyl version will be fine. I should have done my homework, but yeah, they would break up after this.
Yep.
But like in the same year, and then it's so weird how they've like always like flirted with like these half reunion things. Like in 97, like Homme, Brandt, and Oliveira recorded 3 songs for his, Mondo Generator band. In 05, Garcia would join Queens of the Stone Age to do 3 Kyuss songs as part of their encore. Which,
was it just one show or was it like a string of them?
One show at the Wiltern. I was supposed to go to that show actually, and I'm fucking pissed I didn't go.
Interesting. Oh, dude, I have to say it now before I forget.
Because
you said the Wiltern. You said the Wiltern, and you said Queens of the Stone Age, and a buddy of ours, before the fucking Pandy Wandy hit, worked at the Wiltern, and one of his coworkers worked. I don't know if it was that show exactly, but it was Queens at the Wiltern. And boy, I hope this doesn't get back to me. I don't know the full story. All I know is I'm going to throw out some keywords here, and y'all put it together yourselves. All right. So, employee, is told to go check on Josh in his green room. He goes to do so. The door is open a crack. He looks in the crack, sees Josh Homme Donald ducking. He turns around. They make eye contact. End of story. Now, I don't know what happened, but that's all I know that did happen, which is fucking hilarious. But go on. Sorry.
Josh is a monster of a man. That'd be fucking. I'm not telling that dude anything.
You can have my soul, please.
He kicks women in the face for no reason. He's scary.
Hold on. It was really funny. Sorry. There's plenty of reason, Alex.
Pretty random thing he did, but
yeah, that's right. It was a photographer, right?
Yeah.
I think he was trying to kick the camera out of her hand, and he fucking got her in the face.
In instead of side.
I think he was trying to kick the camera. I don't think he was trying to kick someone in the face, Alex. I don't think he wants to get arrested. I think like all logic points to trying to kick the camera out of her hand because she was annoying him, or he was trying to be funny, or dick. I think he knows he would get arrested for kicking someone in the face intentionally, and there's cameras
kind of
everywhere.
Amazing. He didn't.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people get away with that shit. Dr. Dre,
D Barnes.
D Barnes.
It's really interesting how like. Of course, all these dudes would be down to do a reunion, but Homme is like, fuck that. Like, there's no reason for him to. But
the thing is, I was reading. Yeah, keep going. You probably read the same stuff.
Yeah, so they did this thing called Kyuss Lives with Garcia Oliveira and Brant Bjork.
Right.
But then, like, Homme and Reader sued them.
Right.
And the judge's verdict was like, technically it's okay, but you guys should change your name to avoid legal issues.
I think the judge said like they ruled in favor of Homme and Scott. So they're like the stipulation I believe was you can have the name, but Lives has to be the same size as Kyuss and it has to be next to it on all all promotion. So there's no confusing it. There's no and then the judge said, but if you honestly, in my opinion, you should just change it because this is you're gonna be back here even with that, even though this is the rule.
Yeah. So they did do that and release one album called Visticino, which we'll probably end up doing for like a loose ends thing. That's because technically it's a different band. That's the name of the band, right? Yeah. But it's the dudes in Kyuss minus Homme. But then interesting development, and I think it's just the quarantine talking. Homme said he would be down to.
He did. Yeah. And what I think is, here's the thing, like people look at Homme as this fucking big old douchebag. And I'm not saying he's not a douchebag. I don't know. But like the more I read about his responses to these things, honestly, it strikes me as this dude is just an artist who doesn't like people fucking with his shit.
Oh,
like
for sure.
It all comes back to like, you can interpret that as being an asshole if you want, but like it really is. Cause what I read before was he didn't want to do a reunion because he was like, it's a perfect end to the band. Like we did 4 great albums. Like we all moved on. It was a perfect punctuation, as he said. And then they reunited. He's like, you fucked up the punctuation. Now the only way to make it good again is if I rejoin you and then we end it again. It's like, quit ruining my legacy that I'm creating, you fucking assholes. Like, I get it. I get where he's coming from. It's not a very team player kind of attitude, but it's like, he clearly cares more about the legacy and the art of it more than like anything else.
For sure. Also, it's a little easier to say that thing when you're have made way more money than everybody else. Way more money
than everybody else. They're all starving and on crack, and he's like, "Hey, what's the fucking problem? I don't want it. It's the legacy, guys. It's the legacy." Meanwhile, he has no fucking pants on.
But I mean, if they did do it, I'd fucking, I'll be there. Yamo be there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, and then, Queens of the Stone Age happened. Fucking Nick still does Mondo Generator shit. Brant Bjork, very lengthy solo albums, contributor to like Desert Metal, Scott Reeder, for music nerds, people know that guy has good body of work. Not, the most, what am I looking for? Not the flashiest, but very solid body of work. And John Garcia is John Garcia.
John Garcia is, boy, is he persistent, huh? He gives it all. He gives it his all. God damn. We don't like him, but plenty of people. Does he really have that many defenders? I'm not.
I don't know. It's so weird. I remember he started this band, Unda or something, and they were like on one of the Tony Hawk games. And then like they've only done like a handful of stuff. I'm like, why didn't you keep doing that? It's just weird, dude. Weird dude.
Oh well. But that brings us to the end. That was a fucking thorough look at this band.
Yes.
Yeah, good band. Interesting band. Helpful for music, even if we do dislike the guy singing on most of the songs. But
definitely, I think I was not on board with the slower heavy metal stuff, and I think this band definitely helped get me on board with it. So,
very cool. Recap, Alex.
Worse.
What do we got?
Worse, least favorite, Wretch. I think even if you're a big Kyuss fan, there's like maybe 2 or 3 songs there. And then best personal favorite, and the Circus Leaves Town, going out in their prime. And it is same picks for me. Oh boy, good stuff. So thank you all so much for listening and watching. This has been a delight. Looking at the schedule in front of me right now, it's gonna be a minute before I'm comfortable again. Like I don't know. Like this was like an Alex comfort episode. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to drop like a comfort episode fucking like in pretty soon at some point.
Do it. Yeah. But, you run this shit.
Fuck. But if you want to help us out, please subscribe on youtube.com/everyalbumever. Leave comments, thumbs up, share, do all the things that would help. You can also subscribe and rate, review, and all those things on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get podcasts pretty much. Follow me on Instagram for clips of the show, clips of my Twitch channel, and clips of me playing music, original music, at Pander Monkey. And you can follow Alex at
Mother Puncture.
We got, as usual, a Spotify playlist on Kyuss. You can find a link in the description. I should plug that at the beginning of the episode too. I'm trying to rethink this whole plugin situation. That's necessary. We got to do the fucking playlist at the beginning.
Yeah, trying to find a nice flow to the episodes.
Yeah. So playlists along with every other playlist associated with every episode. You can find them all at everyalbumever.com. You can find links to merch there, yada, yada, yada. patreon.com/everyalbumever for bonus episodes, early access to a bunch of different episodes, discounts off merch. And like I said before, if you want to jump the line when requesting an artist for us, in case you don't want to wait, because it's a pretty massive list, and we can literally do one at a time, one per week. So do that if you would like, or not if you would not like. So that's about it. Now, what will we be listening to?
I gotta go. I'm probably gonna butcher Catamaran.
Hell yeah! From And the Circus Leaves Town. Sounds good. Well, I think that's about it. All right. Thank you all so much for listening, everybody. See ya.